Hello, Oracles. What a wild ride today was, wasn't it? So what did we learn today? We learned that the market does not like uncertainty. That is the biggest question that they have, and that is why the market fluctuates as much as it does. So regardless of whether the clarity that we are looking for in particular is, good news or bad news, it doesn't matter. As long as the market knows how to price things in, that's all they want. The uncertainty of, the Russia-Ukraine situation, are they going to invade? Are they not? It's a terrible situation. It really is. And, for the people over there, I feel for them. And regardless of, what we're going through here in the markets, it pales in comparison to the reality of what's going on over there. So while we talk about the markets here because that's how it is affecting us, it's significantly worse for them. But when it comes to the market, we're looking at the fact that we now know what's going on. Russia has invaded. They have made their attacks. Sanctions have been put in place to them. And we know how this is going to progress, at least in the short term. So it has been priced in. The market now knows what's going on and they can price things accordingly. So we saw the rally today. And so I don't know if any of you bought this morning early on. I'm really kicking myself. I had a pre-market buy-in on Tesla for $6.95 and I saw it crashing hard and I'm like, you know what? I think it's gonna fall further. So I bumped it down to $6.50. I was guilty of getting greedy. Shame on me, and I was punished for it because it never triggered, and now look at where we're at, closing right around $800. And that was in my IRA. In my main portfolio, I still added a good chunk of money. I added about $25 on top of my normal $15 every day. I talked about it on this morning's video because of my son's good grades. He got $25 added to his portfolio, and I decided to add $25 to mine and Tesla as well. So it was a nice little treat. I got in at $7.27 for us both. Still great prices. So, I still got in, kicking myself for the IRA. It happens. No matter how long you've been in the stock market, you're going to make mistakes. But I still got into that. I got into Square, which did amazing after hours and earnings. So that was a great pickup for me there. Add a little bit to MP Materials. I added to NVIDIA. I added to Google. Lots of little different ones that I added to today on the dip. Just felt good. I felt like this is a solid, bottom. Like we really spiked hard pre-market this morning. And then we saw the market come back and rally. How long is this going to continue for? Nobody knows. Right now it looks like we've got the war and the invasion priced in. Looks like we've got about 5 to 7 rate hikes priced in. And we shall see if the dip that we took this week is going to offset the dip that we were anticipating for March. So that would be nice. And we'll see if maybe what's going on with the war is going to affect inflation a little bit. Perhaps people decide that because we're going to war over in Ukraine and Russia, we are not involved in the US yet. Whether we are or not, I don't know. But perhaps that's going to pull back some people's spending. And when people pull back spending, that means that demand is coming down. When demand comes down, that means that prices come down. So we'll see if that affects inflation at all. Obviously time will tell over that one. But looks like in the short term at least, there's not a lot of negative catalysts still out there. And all of this FUD and everything going on, and one of the comments I was having this morning kind of inspired a little discussion I was having in my own head of how do we play out the future? There's usually 3 basic different mindsets of thought patterns, which is, worst case scenario, thinking the absolute worst is going to happen and then letting your emotions take panic over. Thinking the best case scenario, not taking into account what could actually happen, thinking, oh, we're going to keep on going up. This is going to be great. It's never going to be bad. And then there's the reality scenario. And then there's a combination of all. I try to play all of them in my head. I've mentioned it before. I usually do a plan for the worst, but hope for the best type of scenario, which is why I keep the cash on hand for moments like this. And now I'm just under 3% cash again because I spent so much this morning. But these are the different scenarios that I play in my head when I'm making my investments. And I usually like to take the most realistic approach. I like to listen to a bunch of different people and put all their information together to make an informed decision as to what can possibly transpire in the future. And when you're a long-term investor, most of this doesn't matter because, like, you know, I'm in Tesla. I'm in Tesla for a minimum of 10 years. So what's going on over the next 12 months truly doesn't matter. You know, it's just a matter for me of I enjoy watching it and I enjoy trying to learn the market for short-term swings for some of my other plays. And I like to learn, you know, just the patterns and something I can learn to help teach a bunch of other people like you guys on here. So I learn these things and I follow the patterns and you know, all the analysts out there saying different things about what can happen. So I put all these pieces together to decide, all right, where do I think the future is actually going to go? And then I make my investments accordingly. And so in this case here, you know, I was hoping that Russia was not going to invade, and I'm pretty sure all of you were also thinking the same thing, hoping Russia was not going to invade. I didn't price in how far it could drop, but again, I just kind of left it open. You know, sometimes you just don't know. And we left it open, and it looks like 700 is the great strong support for Tesla at this point, and the market bounced. You know, the NASDAQ hit bear territory. So now it's a matter of, is it done being in bear territory? Did we hit that bottom bounce and now we're going to start climbing out? You know, how long is that going to take? You know, S&P's in correction. You know, are we hitting the bottom there? Are we going to come out? Or is this going to be yet another dead cat bounce and we keep going down? Seems like, unless there's anything massive and unknown out there, we really won't go much further down. You know, we have talks about, is China going to invade Taiwan next? You know, so many different things going on out there. So this is why, even though I did buy a little heavier this morning, I still have cash on hand because there's still so many unknowns going on out there. And so in putting all these pieces together, I came up with the thought of so many people out there we try to talk to and discuss about don't panic sell. Well, let's reverse that. You know, I'm into health and fitness. I was a personal trainer for quite a while, and I taught people, you know, instead of, you know, trying to break habits, create new habits. Because when you create new habits, it doesn't give you time to even live the old bad habits. So instead of trying to teach yourself to not panic sell, instead teach yourself to panic buy. When everybody else is panicking, buy. And when you're changing that, you still feel the same emotions like you did before. And until you get to the point where you can completely take your emotions out, when you feel these emotions of, oh my God, the stock market's falling, everything is falling apart, I need to sell, train yourself instead to buy. And when you're buying during those times and you buy little bits at a time, you're going to realize, okay, my habits are changing, and now instead of losing money because I panic sold, I am now gaining money in the future because I panic bought when everybody else was panic selling. And so for me, I love to panic buy FUDGE. That is fear, uncertainty, and doubt, grab extra. When there is this fear, uncertainty, and doubt, it is time to grab more stocks for your portfolio, because when you look down the road, this is the time when your fortunes are going to be built. When you've got the fortitude and you buy during these times of panic, you're going to be the big winner in the long run. Let me know in the comments below. Did you get any sweet buys in this morning early, pre-market, or even as the market opened? Let me know what you guys picked up. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. Thank you so much. Have a great one.